If you're trying to share your stories with multi-generation family members, the item often prompts the story. But how are you keeping that safe? How are you keeping it preserved? Where is it at in terms of sharing the story? Is it hidden away, stored in the attic, the basement, the garage, or is it somewhere where the temperature is more controlled so that you can ensure that this item is going to be something that someone is going to be able to continue on and share the ties that bind? Well, the first things we want you to consider is, of course, those locations that very often we have a lot of storage in, and that's your attic, your basement, and garage. And maybe they're not so bad if your temperature is somewhat controlled. You want to control extreme heat, sunlight, and of course moisture and humidity. Those are the things that are going to make a difference in terms of the item being preserved. It definitely makes a difference in terms of a fabric item, because fabric items deteriorate much quicker than some of the items that I have on display today. They're made of wood and metal and ceramic, and but photos too have the same problem. Anything that has a paper or a fiber background is going to be more susceptible and will deteriorate much faster than some of the harder items that we see. Things of color, of course, are going to deteriorate much, much faster. When we're thinking about photos, color photos will actually fade 4 times faster than black and white. So you must take particular care to keep them out of direct sunlight and to keep light away from them in many cases. Plastics are a terrible thing to store things in if, of course, they are made of fiber. So do you have quilts stored in plastic garment bags? Do you have old tablecloths stored in plastic dry cleaner bags that separate them? Or do you have bubble wrap around a lot of paper items that you're trying to store? If you do, you run the risk of that plastic deteriorating or trapping moisture to the point that it actually begins to spread mildew and, of course, kills the item too. Mildew feeds off of the wood particles that are found in many types of fibers, or the fiber, like cotton or linen, just as it does with wood. So, get rid of the mildew, get rid of the humidity. That's the key. Plastics are a problem with that. So take a look there. One of the things today that scrapbooking has brought to the forefront is the idea of ease in finding what we called archival material. Archives that help you store things so that the acids in the papers and the wood products will not actually seep into your item and destroy it. Now, wood acids can come from paper, cardboard for instance, or it can come again from being stored in an old-fashioned cedar chest that is not lined with any type of barrier, or again an old quilt box, or an old antique dresser, for instance, where the wood is exposed in the drawers against the item. So what's the easy things that you can do? Well, the fiber items, one of the fastest things you can do is simply get some 100% muslin or an old 100% cotton sheet or pillowcase and just simply line your drawer, line your cedar chest, and then put your items in. Because what we're doing is trying to create a barrier so that the wood acids can seep into, if it does seep into that 100% cotton item, it's absorbed into that, and that's where it stops. It doesn't go into your other fiber item, your tablecloth or your quilt or your pillowcases, etc. So you want to create the barrier. One of the best things to do if you have old sheets is to take your quilt and actually roll your quilt up in the old sheets so that you again are rolling to take sharp creases off of the quilt, and you're creating again a soft barrier to actually help with that and provide a barrier against any wood acids that you have as well. So again, using 100% cotton items with fiber items is very critical to do too. You can purchase cardboard boxes, or in the case of photos, you can buy photo sleeves that are made of types of plastic that do not break down, that do not disintegrate and stick onto your photo and destroy it. You know, I have 3 photo albums right now that had the magnetic covers on them that you put the picture in and stick it on the background with a sticky, and then put that on the top, and it actually stuck to the sticky and kept them in. But over time, those sleeves or those sticky tops are drying out, they're becoming brittle, and they're even pulling pieces of the photograph away, where the moisture where it was stored has seeped in underneath the plastic has grabbed it and it's destroying the photo. A lesson learned. We want to have the type of item that we can buy that you could get a sleeve, you could put, again, your photo inside that. You can also, again, get the type of archival acid-free paper, put your photos on that with the special adhesives that you can get with scrapbooking, and that will save your photos. It will also give you a chance to document the photo, who's in it, just say who's in it and the date, and it will give you a better way of preserving those particular items. The Extension Homemakers in Allen County are starting to preserve certificates that they have been given to recognize achievement in archival plastic sleeves that are then put into notebooks, which makes it much easier to store and becomes a way of keeping history alive without the certificates being destroyed or damaged by keeping them in the wrong type of storage item. So consider that. Take a look at your scrapbooking section of different stores such as Hobby Lobby or Walmart or again Scrapbook Village, all of the local places that we have that deal with scrapbooking, and they can help you select an item that will help you in preserving those particular things that are made of paper. And it's one way to do that. They're not expensive, it's just a matter of doing it in most of our cases. So keeping things, again, away from direct sunlight also become a special item. Even photographs, as we said, quilts and fibers, if they're in the direct range of an afternoon or morning sun, you will find very quickly that colors will fade, very quickly. That's true of prints, it's true of photos, it's true of any type of fiber item, especially that has a deep color to it. So really be careful with your displays, how long that you display it and what you actually put in that direct ray of sunlight that may be coming into your house. It will fade furniture too, by the way, and you will see all kinds of differences. As we said, newspaper ink too can become a problem. Let's take, for instance, if I were trying to store some photos on glass and I put newspaper sheets between them, very, very quickly the ink from the newspaper will actually adhere to the glass, the photo, dishes, etc., and I will be able to read all about it on the dish and the plate instead of on the newspaper as well. So really be careful with what you put newspaper between, for how long, and critically where you're storing it. Ideal temperatures to store around 65 to 70 degrees. So think about that in your home for your treasured belongings. Stay with us. We'll be right back.